Hey Java Cafe members, I plan to post a sequence of videos on the topic called records in Java. Before we get into the deep understanding of how we can uh, write a record in Java, we have to understand the immutable data carrier class because the records are more relevant and it's more resemblance to the creation of a standard immutable data carrier class. So how do we create a data carrier class? Let's go ahead and have a view on it first, and then we can get into the better understanding of uh, converting the standard way of creating an immutable data carrier class into a Java records. So here is the snippet of code which you can look at it right now. So there are ceremonies of steps that's involved in creating a data carrier class. So here you can see that we have a data carrier class name called email GTO. So GTO technically refers to the data transfer object. So I've created a class with name called email GTO, and in this GTO class we have some set of fields where these fields are marked as final fields, meaning is these fields are constants. So that's rule number one in order to create an immutable data carrier class. So here immutability means we are not eligible to change the state of the fields once after the fields are initialized for that specific object. So that's why we are going to bring in this term called immutability. Generally, when we go for defining a POJO class in Java, we used to have a set of fields without a final keyword, and we will be having a set of methods called getters and setters, which technically used to modify the field values. Using the setters, we can change the value of the fields. But when it comes to the immutable data carrier class, we are not entitled to change the state of the field once after the fields are initialized. So that's the reason that we have this fields marked as final. That's number one. Number two is we usually have an argumented constructor in order to create an instance with the default values that need to be set to these fields. And that's the only approach that we are going to follow when we are going to create an immutable data carrier class. So via this constructor, we are going to set the value for these fields, and once the values have been set, we are not entitled to modify them because it's been defined to be a final fields. So this is step number two. So as you can notice, step number one is to define all final fields, and step number two is to create the argumented constructor for the list of final fields that we have created inside this class. And we have a getter methods up here. So you can see a list of getter methods for all these fields that we have defined. So all these getter methods are used to read the value of the fields. So means we cannot set the value. As I said, there are going to be no setters up here. We are not going to carry any setters in this class because setters is usually used to update the value of the field. So there are no presence of setters inside this class. So we are only going to carry the getter list of getters for all these fields that we have inside this data carrier class. The next interesting thing is along with this three steps of final fields, argumented constructors, and the set of getters equivalent to the number of fields that we have created inside this email GTO data carrier class, we also have an hash code method to be defined, and we also have the equals method to be defined, and we also have the toString method to be defined. So as you can notice that there are loads of ceremonies that we need to follow in order to create an official data carrier, which is an immutable data carrier class. So number one is final fields, number two is argumented constructors, number three is our getters, number four is to create an the hash code methods, and number five is creating an equals method, and then we also have a toString method. So these are traditional methods which we usually used to have in many POJO classes as well. The same way we need to carry these methods inside the data career immutable data career class as well. The interesting point here is we have IDEs today which can help us to automate all these ceremonies of codes. So we don't need to write them manually, but we can make use of the IDE features to auto-generate these code. But it seems to be that we have too many number of ceremonies to be followed up while we are in the stage of creating an immutable data career class. So the alternate for this is where we bring in the records. So Java records got introduced, and the Java records can help us in reduce these ceremonies as we go along. So let's see the execution of this email GTO, the immutable data career class, and how we are going to create an object for it, and how we are going to transfer that object to a specific method. As you can notice, the use case is more straightforward, that this particular class is used for email processing. So we technically have a mail to fields, mail CC fields, mail from fields, subject and body. So we are going to simulate an email sending, email processing scenario. And there, let's see how we use this traditionally created data career class inside that. And later, we'll see how we can migrate this immutable data career class into a Java records in detail.